Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Tim. This is Freight Master Resources, where we provide tips, tools, resources. And like I've been mentioning for like the last, week and a half, 2 weeks, I have been wanting to get the guys from eCarriercheck back on because we've got some pretty exciting news. I kind of hinted around to it a little bit in some previous videos, but I didn't want to divulge too much until I had them on. Because they're true legends, and they can explain a lot of this a lot better than I can, right? So hey guys, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, I don't know about the legend part, but I appreciate
well you guys literally took time. I kind of gave you some short notice because I kind of dropped it on you. I'm like, is there any way you guys could join with me this week? And yeah, sure. Let's do it. So yeah, I appreciate it.
No, thanks, Tim. We appreciate the opportunity as well. Like I said, you have a really big following, and I love today's title. Take your freight broker sales to the next level, and that's what ECarriercheck is here to do: is help you take it to the next level.
Yeah,
you have a good audience, Tim. I like the a lot of the people that are in your world. They're very well educated. They understand the industry. And every now and then you just want to put a community together, and that's what you've done. And so we're excited to be here.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah. So I've talked about eCarrier in the past. You guys have been on the show before. Talked about, it being a great source for CRM, carrier vetting, carrier sourcing, sourcing shippers. But now there is this 2.0 update that you guys have done, and I've had the opportunity to kind of start running it through its paces and everything, and I've been super excited to talk about it. Tell us about this new update.
Yeah, when people hear ECarriercheck, we're more than just let's source carriers. We're more than just carrier check or carrier vetting. You're right. This new shipper update we've put out is, I like to say, it's our shippers on steroids. We provide you so much good information on potential leads just you could be, getting your foot in the door with. Really a lot of good shippers to be adding to your pipeline. So yeah, we offer all, carrier vetting, sourcing. You can find freight brokers. But my favorite thing is sales. Everyone is talking sales. Everyone needs a shipper. And the amount of information that we pulled for our shipper data, there's nothing really like it. And for a cheap cost, I must say, like if you can sit here at your computer and run as many searches as you can, like it's a gold mine, right?
Yeah.
We provide so much information as far as like contact information. We'll even pull some LinkedIn employees that we see working there, and then the ones that make sense that maybe you can be asking for. Jared, maybe you want to add to this as well, but the whole point of this was to really help freight brokers either get in that door a little bit easier or maybe have more confidence on the sales call.
Yeah, I think, what I think is probably interesting, and we've all been there. It takes a lot of time to do some research when it comes to prospecting. You're clicking around, you're going into their website, you're trying to find a contact, then you're trying to find emails. Well, then you're trying to figure out locations. And honestly, sometimes you just want to be in one spot to be able to do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? The worst thing that this was the most challenging thing I ever saw. We lived in a house when I was little that had the friggin' dining room in the next room. And I swear my mom spent most of my childhood going between that table in the other room and the kitchen. And it was just like, I was like, what are we doing? Like, why is it not all in one spot? Let's have an open floor house concept so we can just kind of bounce between things when you need some ketchup. And that's what we've done. We put the ketchup right in the living room, and we're here. You know what I mean? Like, let's make it efficient.
Yeah. I was actually talking to Nate just before we started the show about a buddy of mine, and he called me up and he goes, Tim, how are you finding all of these leads and everything? And I'm like, bro, like I've told you about this, like ECarriercheck. I said, literally, I don't leave the page because I can source shippers. Now we've got contact information, right? Our point of contact, because you've got that decision maker there. I said, I can source carriers. I can vet carriers. It's a CRM. What else do I need other than a tab over to check an email?
I agree.
Honestly, I mean, it's a no-brainer. So sort of to elaborate on what you're saying about, sort of that open floor plan, about your mom running back and forth. Why would I have 20 tabs open, sourcing the decision makers, finding that lead, why? When I've got everything at my fingertips right there.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to type in the comments.
No, you're totally fine.
We got some of our YouTube community over here as well. For those of you that are usually watch our channel, this is Tim. Amazing person, lots of knowledge, built a really good community. He's got really one of the biggest Facebook groups I've ever seen in my entire life, which I love. And the nice thing about it, everyone in that group is so respectful, by the way. Yeah. Sometimes you see groups that are just mean to each other.
They just destroy each other.
I just love this group.
Yeah, I do too.
It's kind of mandatory.
Yeah, it's mandatory. Set those rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Last train of thought. What were you saying, Tim? I apologize.
I'm sorry?
I didn't know if you asked us something. I was trying to pay attention to the chat here. I do have a carrier check up, so that way anyone watching, if they, if they're new here, we're going to show you what it looks like as well. Kind of give you the inside look of it and just kind of tease you a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think real quick, Tim, because I've been doing a lot of calls this week, and I've been spending a lot of time in the trenches with different brokers, different carriers, and just making calls, helping them send emails, helping them send follow-up emails, helping them send, let's do our first call, let's do our 10th call. And I tell you what, for those of you who know me, that I struggle with fishing, but this is the time of year when it's raining. Boy, I tell you what, when it's raining this time of year, it's time to get your worms. You know what I mean? And It is springtime right now. We can plant some seeds. We sent out, I'll tell you some statistics this week. We sent out over 500 emails this week with different people, different kind of niches, different kind of things like that. I think we got a response rate back of, we have over 50 responses back on those 500 emails, which is incredible. We spoke to so many shipping managers this week that are just looking for somebody that can help with more of a solution. Don't let them take, we heard a shipper talk about their current carriers are taking them for granted. It was the wildest week, man. And it was just, I feel like right now, if you've got time to be making calls, you got to do it, because people are opening and picking up that phone and checking their emails. This is a great time for this shipper data to come out, because there's so many people that are willing and looking to help. That wasn't the case 5 months ago. 5 months ago, me and Tim are knocking our heads on the walls trying to find a new client. It isn't happening. You know what I mean? Right. People want to talk, and now they do. It's wild how I almost feel like it's like a reverse world or something right now, because people are having great conversations. And I love it. I can't get enough of it.
It's funny you mentioned that. Actually, there was a prospect that I reached out to in Arizona just a few days ago, and we're actually in the process of getting set up, getting all the paperwork done and everything now. They were having lots of issues with their current carrier base. They had gone carrier direct, right? I think they still had one broker on, but none of their requirements were being met. And it was like no-brainer stuff to me. I'm like, why is this happening to you? And so after nearly an hour-long conversation, and a couple of follow-ups, we ended up landing them, and we're making it happen now. So
I love that. Nice job. Good for you, man.
And then another thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You're good, Tim.
Another thing that I do love about ECarriercheck is that I have another friend of mine. I don't know. He's been kind of struggling a little bit. I'm not going to dime him out and call him out on the show or anything, right? But no, he was, he had some of his customers had kind of moved away and went primarily carrier based. As a result, I think kind of the market. I mean, he knows his stuff. I don't think it was anything that he necessarily did. Just a couple of his shippers had kind of moved off into a different direction and everything. And I said, you've got to, stay diligent. Don't get complacent, right? Like keep moving forward, and don't let those rejections, affect you too much. We just have to kind of keep persevering with our sales calls. And by having everything, like I mentioned earlier, kind of at your fingertips, by cutting out all those extra little steps throughout your day, like I said, having 20 different tabs open, finding your lead, finding your point of contact and everything else, I think that kind of contributes to burnout for some people.
Yeah.
Because you're multitasking so much, and then you've got your sales on top of that, right? And I think that that happened to him. And again, that was another one. You've got to get with the ECarriercheck, man. I said, it's going to make your day so much easier. And I believe he actually did sign up because he called me, 2 or 3 days ago, landed a new customer, and he seemed like he was like on cloud 9. I mean, he called me. I couldn't get a word in edgewise for probably the first 15 minutes. I mean, he was just giddy like a little schoolgirl or something. It was kind of funny, but I'm happy for him. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. That's really good to hear. I mean, I think the main thing is keeping that motivation. No matter how much info anyone can give you, you still have to have a great call, right?
Yeah.
You still and like you said it too, Tim. Like after multiple follow-ups with the customer, we landed them.
Yeah.
The key words there were multiple follow-ups. It's not going to happen in one call. I mean, if you get lucky and someone's looking for a broker, it could happen, right?
Yeah.
But it's going to take those multiple follow-ups, the motivation. I mean, you really got to walk in the work today and just be like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's make 100 calls and maybe get 100 no's.
Mm-hmm.
But let's keep moving. So, but I think this is maybe a good time to maybe pull up the site and show you a couple searches and a couple updates here. Freight trucking, what's going on, man? Thanks for being here, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good Friday.
Yeah, what's so interesting, Tim? You talked about time management, and we talked to a lot of brokers, we talked to a lot of carriers, and sometimes I almost feel like it's just a task to people to make phone calls, right? They're like, I plowed through 20 calls, and I'm like, well, how was it? And then I'll talk to somebody else, and I'm like, I almost feel like some days, like, we need to ask ourselves the question, what's the difference between being efficient and effective? Because we can come in and be efficient and plow out all our day, but are we really being effective, right? And I think that's sometimes, as a freight broker, we've got, good God, it's not like you're swimming in a pool, you're swimming in a lake. And some days it's a choppy lake, and some days it's a friggin', you get the opportunity to get up on some skis and go across the beautiful, clean glass. But man, I tell you what, you kind of hit it on the head. You've got to find a way to be effective with your day, with your time, with your prospecting, but at the same time, you got revenue to bring in. And so you got to find those time blocks, those ways to make your day more efficient.
Oh, for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could almost hear the frustration in his voice, right? Prior to, I think when you don't have all of these other, sources that you have to go to, you know what I mean? Your mind can stay focused on sales and those quality calls.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. Robert, what's up, brother? I see Robert's on.
Yeah.
How are you, man? It's always good to see you.
Let's see, Robert. Happy Friday. Cool.
Yeah, pull up the site. Let's take a look.
Tim,
can you see it?
Yeah, can you see the site, Tim?
I cannot. Let me see if I do this.
What happens if you?
Let me try this really quick. Present. Share screen. There's that.
All right, how about now?
There we go.
Now
There
we're
we go.
cooking.
Now we're cooking. Okay, cool.
Awesome.
So let's hop on over to the shippers. A few things that we've added to that apparently has been going off the wire.
Like way off the
This
wire.
Explore Industries section here. You click this as many times as your fingers can handle, and you're going to get a bunch of different industries that maybe might catch your eye. I'm awesome, bud. Hope you all are great. Yeah, we're good too, Robert. Thanks, brother. Good to see you, man. But this industry section here has been clicked thousands of times.
Oh yeah.
I think over 100K already
Yeah.
this week. And people are just sitting here kind of just trying to find an industry that might catch their eye or maybe fits their niche. So this is something new we've added that I really enjoy. But it's pretty cool that you can just kind of click, let's go look at lumber production. And now we're pulling up a bunch of shippers that essentially, are having to do something with lumber, things of that nature. So that's one of our newest additions or features, if you will, that I really enjoy. So I'm not sure if you've had a chance to look at that yet, but yeah, it's a really amazing resource invader for sure.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of, it's sometimes let's be honest, you can stalemate in your pipeline. And what I mean by that is some days you're like, I need to do anything else but what I'm trying to call.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. I talked to a broker this Monday, and he mentioned, I can't believe it's Friday, by the way. But he mentioned, he goes, I threw everything away in my CRM this week.
Oh.
And I said, well, how do you feel about that? And he goes, well, I'm not getting anywhere with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm, in some cases, 10, 15 calls deep. I'm just really struggling. He goes, I just need some fresh blood.
Yeah.
And I go, well, go in and just start clicking, click those industries and find an area that you feel like you succeed in. And he's a flatbed guy. He does a lot of flatbed work. And so it's just been an interesting way of searching. I like that search concept. It gives you an idea of how do you find an industry, because as a freight broker, as a carrier, you kind of know, if I tell you toilet paper, you know what kind of equipment it goes in. If I tell you, rental equipment, you know what kind of equipment you need, right? You kind of have an idea. You're like, I bet they have flatbed work. Well, we kind of give you that idea of, let's touch the tongue to the pole and see if it sticks.
Right, for sure.
Right.
And the nice thing too, Tim, that you've probably seen that it's actually been super helpful for a freight broker that kind of keeps in touch with us weekly. But you'll see on the left-hand side here, we've added some common filters for shippers. So if you want to find shippers that just have, they all have emails, because maybe you're an emailing type of person, we have these filters that kind of help break down what's going to suit you best, if you will.
Yep.
I know Jared and another broker had that opportunity to send some hook emails, and they kept it really short to the point, and they actually got a customer to contact him back from that email.
Yeah.
So really good way to kind of stick to what works for you. Maybe it's emailing or, phone calls, or just maybe you're on LinkedIn sending DMs. But you'll see here how now in the shipper profile, you'll see locations, volume, employees, just keywords that we've seen on their site that may grab your attention and maybe be some talking points. Key contacts. Yeah, you're going to go over there. So these are some leads that we pulled off of LinkedIn and their job title, right? And now you can quickly decipher who I need, who would I need to talk to. So key contacts, huge. You can even set yourself a reminder, maybe hit them up next week. Contact info, here we'll have email formats as well. So if we got an email format, obviously it's blurred out for, YouTube reasons, but there's a good format for you to kind of take on. Mm-hmm. And then locations if they have more than one.
The other thing that I really like about this, you mentioned, going and trying to find other people. Well, our keywords and our shipper classifier, if you will, allows us to go out and look for more people. So if A&A is a good fit for you and you do what you do with them and start to work through that process, go out and find more people that are like them. In this particular case, we just have the one. But it's interesting how we've got those emails, the locations, everything right there for you. And you can just kind of work through the process and say, okay, I need to put this guy on my cold leads, or he's a current customer or to do. And you can just write a note real quick. If you don't mind, just, call Jay or something, whatever. And here's your notes from previous. And then, from the other side of this is just going in and working this lead. Look at this. Now we got called, there's our to-do list. So it's very it's very entertaining way of, working your pipeline. Cause sometimes honestly, it's a little monotonous to work your pipeline. Right. So,
and these 3 dots too are a game changer as well. Cause a lot of these shippers, they'll have, LinkedIn's, their Facebook accounts. Some even have a YouTube. But you'll see these 3 dots will take you to whatever we've found on them. So good system, or a good way to kind of learn more about the company, see if it would be a good fit for you personally. Let me get rid of has emails really quick. So that's just our simple location search. You can even get deeper here. Maybe you just want to find by physical address. So in this sense, you're just finding shippers in Atlanta or near that area, wherever you set your radius, right? So we still have our radius there. So think of how many shippers we're kind of flaring out to in that 150 mile radius. Yeah. So, and we still have one of my favorite searches as well is just still finding shippers by a name. So if you want to type in the word pipe or produce or plastics, like you have that opportunity. And let's go find shippers with that keyword in their name. So now here's a bunch of pipe, companies that have that word pipe in their name. And then like Jared said, they're probably going to be more using open decks, right? I see a couple RGNs in there, specialty flatbeds. So you already know what you're getting into when you're kind of running some searches here, which is huge.
Tim, I know we've been doing all the talking here. What are
your thoughts, Tim? I know you played around a little bit. Any thoughts or questions so far from your end?
Yeah. So in the beginning there, where you had all the the industry types, that I think is huge, not only for those that are already in the industry, but new brokers and broker agents. You know what I mean? That maybe, because that's like one of the biggest questions that I get, Tim, I've been at this for 2 months now. I'm brand new. I'm not having much luck. And I said, well, what niche are you targeting? Well, and they've just kind of done that shotgun method where they're just, anything, hoping something will stick. And I always tell them, I said, you're better off to decide on a niche. Well, having that, I mean, now you've got a whole list of leads in your niche,
right?
Or maybe your fault, their fault, nobody's fault. You lost a customer, right? You've been in the industry for several years or something, and you need to replace them. Boom, there's more of that right there in your niche. And then where you click the 3 dots there on the right hand side, and it brought up like their Twitter and everything. Perfect example. We have a customer. We do roughly $350,000 a month with them. It took me nearly a year from my first contact with them until we moved our first load with them. The whole reason why I ended up with that account was I saw that they were building a new facility. It was in an area where I had trucks. I reached out to them. I actually talked to the owner, and they were going through this whole remodel and addition. They were expanding the plant and everything. And originally they were supposed to have been done. I reached out to them in March of that year. They were supposed to be done by August. They ended up with delays. We didn't end up moving our first load until that following March. But because everybody's on social media, by having that social media, links to them, you can find out, are they expanding? Are they building, a new facility? All of these kinds of things, and that just hit me like that, just as one example, of how profitable that can be by just, and utilizing that during your sales call, right? Like, I see you're adding a new facility. Well, it just so happens that I've got capacity, in that area, and it can be highly profitable.
Yeah, well, that's a really good way to actually look about it. Not a lot of people think like that either. Let's go check out their socials and see if they are expanding. You still got to take a little bit of time and do some research on that company, in my opinion. Yeah. But that's a really good, I think, input from you, Tim, how you can leverage their social media accounts and kind of see what's going on. I mean, that's important. You want to know a lot about them and have a good call, right? So I think that's huge.
Yeah, that's some gold right there, Tim. Nice nugget. I do like to, I don't know about you, Tim, but I listen to a lot of books. I buy a lot of books every year. And honestly, I probably listen to a book a week, if not even more. And I hear something that I just want to throw out there, right?
Mhm.
Is that not every lead is going to be your cup of tea. We could call 10, right? And not everyone is worth your time, or not everyone makes sense for you because you don't understand their industry. But I think where I'm going with buying the book is, we're not selling credits so you can see which shippers. We want you to go jump in the pool and see which one makes sense. There's a floaty for everybody. We just need to know, do you like the duck, or do you want just the traditional circle and you're throwing it around your hip? But it's all right here for you, and you're not buying credits. You're not wasting. I've bought more books that sit in my file that I'm like, gosh, damn it, I just wasted $23. There's no credits here. It's carte blanche. Do you want the duck or do you want the circle, right? Just jump in the pool. Let's go build some businesses.
Right. And let's be honest too, like, you book one load that week, your subscription's paid for that month.
Yeah, exactly.
$150 a month, no contracts. You have it all at the fingertips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, book your load that month, boom, paid for.
Yeah.
Start building relationships with carriers in that area.
Yeah, exactly.
Start finding more shippers. Can't get complacent. What happens if a shipper shuts down, right? You're getting on the phone. So you should constantly be on that phone and just kind of making your sales skills, if you will, just, even more polished. Like Jerry likes to say. Yeah. But that's what you can.
Investment.
Yeah, it's a really good investment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and I mean, look at like during 2020 with the pandemic, literally like nearly 70% of my book of business just went whoop off the radar, so it was a huge scramble to find prospects, you know what I mean? Because all of a sudden it's like, well, there goes, so much of my revenue. And then, I've got carriers calling me, Tim, what's going on? I need loads, and it's like, I'm working on it, so yeah, having all of that at hand is huge.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. A couple of things that we still have in place, which I love, is our find random shipper button. Kind of like the industry, the industry there, the industry category. But here's your find a shipper lead. I've had a couple people this week actually land being able to give some quotes to the customer this way. So it's actually quite fun. So that's a really good way to kind of just, switch it up a little bit.
Just find something different.
Right. So
yeah.
Before, for our OGs that are on, watching this or looking at this, we obviously had a lot of shippers. We get, bill of ladings, right? And they get sent over to us. And so, what we did on top of those bill of ladings is we built this amazing scraper, and that's what you're seeing is the first round of us scraping some of our shippers. We have a lot more to go, and we're excited to continue to just make this pool bigger and bigger to help people out, to help help them grow their business. So very excited to be able to continue to put those in there. Not every day can you find a lead and understand, oh, this guy does reefer work, or this guy does van work, or, it's the other side of it is not every day can you go in and say, oh, there's their logistics manager right there. So it's very niche driven to the transportation and logistics industry. And I love that. You know what I mean?
Especially if you got good relationships with carriers that you love to work with. Mm-hmm. If you can find some good shippers that will work with them too, like, I think this is an awesome software to have. You know what I mean? Like, let's keep the carriers that you love to use. Let's find some shippers that make sense for both of you.
Exactly.
And just kind of grow. So,
yeah, I was actually just getting ready to say, oftentimes, receivers aren't always necessarily that end user. So oftentimes, at least for me, if I'm sending trucks into somewhere, I'll usually contact that receiver and say, hey, I'm already sending trucks to you. Can we get them reloaded? But a lot of my carriers seem to like to have like that dumbbell, let's say from Dallas to LA and back, or something. So if that receiver, maybe all of their stuff is, customer routed once, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you can get around that, sometimes you can't, but it's nice to have that and find out what lanes that those shippers in that LA area have going back to Dallas, right? And keeping that carrier relationship going, because I've got shippers that actually request certain drivers, certain carriers, because I've got multiples that go in. They're like, yeah, we don't really like them. I'm like, and so, and then they've got some, if they have like a last minute load, well, can you see if so-and-so has an available truck for today? It's kind of a last minute load or something aside from our normal dedicated. But yeah, I love having those dumbbells together. It keeps your carriers happy and things. And especially if you're just starting out, I think, let's say you're moving loads out of Jacksonville to Chicago or something, and now you've got the outbound, let's find a shipper in Chicago to bring those trucks back to Jacksonville so that you can get them reloaded versus throwing it out on the load board, and hoping something sticks there,
Yeah, there is
it's
nothing
almost
better.
like playing Russian roulette anymore with the load boards. It really, to me, it is. There's so much extra vetting involved with all of the, the fishing, the double brokering, and everything else that's kind of plagued our industry, so much in the past, year, 2 years. It just seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse. And so by building those carrier relationships and helping them out, right, reinforces that. It helps make you more profitable, keeps your customers happy. It's sort of a win-win, and ECarriercheck helps you do that.
I like that. Cheap Freight Hauler says, I'm new to ECarriercheck. I just checked my MC. How can I get my risk better than moderate? Can I send you a picture of my truck and trailer? Well, I'm a truck nerd, so you can always send us a picture of your truck and trailer. I love, somebody sends me like a 7-axle RGN, and I'm like, honey, look at this, and my wife doesn't care. I'm like, look at that thing. This is like, what do you do? If my wife's watching, I love you. She just doesn't like I love watching trucks. Just I don't know.
Yeah.
But as far as I would love to work with you more. Maybe reach out to us at support@ecarriercheck.com. The picture thing is just more for me, but going from a risk to moderate or a better risk than moderate, come on over. Our risk radar, actually, we'll have a show on this next week and talk really heavily about our risk radar. I'm really excited about it because we've taken even further steps to make our risk radar more accurate and to help brokers and in some carriers, I guess, but a lot of brokers to make sure that they're making good decisions. And understanding those and seeing the full picture of what we see. So there'll be another update coming out next week on our carriers, and we're excited about that. But the risk radar thing, give us a call, shoot us an email. We want to make sure we're helping you out here because, obviously the carriers are what drives this country. And for the good people that are out there that actually do what they need to do, man, let's figure out how to help you out. No inspection, 12 months, no trade service with my company. Yeah, that hurts as well. You know what I mean? Those are things that every broker looks at going, well, do you have inspections? Do you where are you at? So, we're working on trying to make sure that, the right people are still getting noticed. And so that's an important thing. So we're working on this. This is an interesting topic.
Yeah, I just want to mention to my viewers, to check out, I do have a link to ECarriercheck's channel, so be sure to check them out. A lot of great information over there, whether you're a carrier or broker, just a wealth of knowledge over there. We also have, I forget if it's a link or the coupon code for 10% off. What is it for the first 3 months?
Yep.
With ECarriercheck? Yeah, so you can start off with a discount.
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. We appreciate your support in that as well. That's it's always nice to kind of smash two communities together that have the same sort of values and beliefs, and I believe we do. So that's what we're excited about.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm a huge fan, so anytime I get an opportunity, I'm always recommending eCarriercheck. Especially if I hear somebody struggling, whether they're brand new, or even a veteran in the industry. Maybe they just, for whatever reason, kind of lost their way, and I'm like, hey, you can get it back. Just get eCarriercheck, redefine your niche, whatever. Obviously every situation's a little bit different, but yeah, I'm always recommending them.
Appreciate that, Tim.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. We appreciate that. Yeah, we do our YouTube show for just the sheer fact that we want to help encourage people. We want to see people succeed. Sometimes people are like, well, how'd you get those people on the phone so easy? And honestly, it's just make more calls and you'll get there. I promise you. Not everybody sounds like me. But what you can do is just continue to refine your craft and get better at immersing yourself in this industry. And that's what Freight Master Resources is for. Even the posts that I see in there, you glean some new information every day. And I've been in this industry for 15 years. And I love teaching the old dog new tricks. You know what I mean? Like let's find a new way to do things. Let's grow together. And that's what I love about your community as well.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, the industry is always evolving. So, and it's awesome that eCarriercheck's kind of keeping pace with all of that. I mean, really, you see some of the other systems and stuff, they're just very antiquated. They're not updating anything. So it's nice to see like this 2.0 update rollout. I believe there was, when you mentioned that you guys already have a bunch and you're adding more shipper leads in there. What is there? There's like 40,000 plus in there right now currently.
Oh yeah.
I think that's kind of important to point out to people that it's not just a handful. Like there's a huge amount in there.
Yeah, we're hoping by the end of this year we'll have hundreds of thousands of leads, and there shouldn't be a reason why we don't get to that goal. We're pretty excited. We have so many leads already in the back of our system. It's just a matter of implementing them through our scraper and pushing that forward. So, but like you said, Tim, we're trying to sprint. We're a bootstrapped company. We've got 2 rogue friggin' programmers. That these guys are insane. I'd put them up against anybody at any company. They're incredible. I wish we could have like a program off where we're like doing shots and they're programming, and like it'd be kind of fun to like just to see. But we're always adapting and we're always trying to get better. You get the carrier on here that's saying, hey, how do I get this better? Those are the things that help us grow and do things. We're not perfect. We're nowhere near perfect, but man, we're here to help and support, and that's what we love, and that's what we're trying to build. So.
Yeah, you guys are awesome over there for sure. Yeah, your programmers sound like they're just straight up machines.
Some days I think they are. I got to calm them down with like wings and hot sauce occasionally. I'm like, we got to get you out and eat and maybe have a couple bush lights.
Right, there you go. I feel like I'm kind of starting to lose my voice here a little bit. I don't know why. I got over the flu the end of last week, and I don't know, every once in a while my voice still feels like it's just, I don't know. But we've been running for almost 40 minutes now. I really appreciate you guys jumping on and talking some more about because I've been chomping at the bit to talk about this, right? I was so excited to tell everybody about the new update and everything. And if you don't already have eCarriercheck, get over there, sign up. Like I said, coupon code. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to their channel, right? Yeah, a lot of great information.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah, I'm throwing our email in the chat. That way, if you guys have questions, you can give us an email, give us a call. We're the ones that answer the phone, which is nice. So you're not going to.
Yeah, it's just us.
Yeah, it's just us. So email us if you have any questions, concerns, whatever it may be. We'd love to talk with you.
Awesome. Guys, again, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Tim.
I really do. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yep.
For sure.
That sounds good to us, Tim. Thanks for having us, man.
Awesome. Thank you. As always, be kind to one another.
Yeah.
Yes. Amen.
I agree.
See you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Bye-bye.